Hey Josh, you coming on over?
Go ahead on, take a rest. I'll be over in a minute.
I'll never forget how I got here. It's been 2 years ago today since the old man rescued me from the plane crash. But changes have occurred in my life.
Get out the way, old Dan Tucker. Old Dan Tucker comes home for his supper. Old Dan Tucker were a mean old man. He washed his face in a frying pan. Combed his hair with a wagon wheel. Died with a toothpick in his heel. Well, Pilgrim, you think you can hold down a little bit of this here broth now? How's that taste, huh? Mighty tasty. Still got a little fever.
Where am I?
The top of them trees with that airplane of yours, and it almost made that meadow. And then I found you crawling about 100 yards from where the plane was, and then right after I picked you up, why, poof, up she went. Burned everything you had, and the plane included.
How soon can you get me to a hospital?
Rescue will be here pretty quick.
Didn't file a flight plan. I just wanted to get away from the office and away from all the noise and pressures of the big city, and I just didn't want to be bothered by phone calls.
Out here, I just got fed up. Actually, what I am is a buckskinner. And buckskinning is kind of a way of, well, you could call it a way of life. It's more of a philosophy or just an idea. A bunch of people wanted to get back to basics and, you know, get back to integrity and the church, religion. And when a man's contract was his handshake, and as a kind of a symbol of this idea, they picked the mountain man of the 1830s, and what they do is try to emulate the mountain man of that period, that classic period, and they go out on rendezvous, mostly on weekends, and they'll have big camps, a whole community of people, maybe 20, 30 people, and everything has to be authentic, pre-1840. There can't be no modern gear, no aluminum or anything like that, and everything is just the way it was at that time. And what some of us just carried it one step farther. We stay out a month. Some of us go out 6 months, you know, depending on how we're able. And me, I just gave it up. We got a little cabin down here. Me and my partner, he went under about 6 or 8 months ago. And we built us a little cabin down here. It's about 40 miles. And then we're about 30 miles from there on into town, so it's quite a distance. And I stay down there in the wintertime and trap, just like the old-time trappers did, and just live that 1840 way of life. And then in the summertime, after I turn in my skins into town, well, I come on up here and just fool around in the summertime and hunt and fish and do what I want, and that's about it.
Like it's going to be some time before I can get back to civilization. Can you take me on?
John. Been a week now. How's it feel to be up and about? How's that leg feeling?
It's feeling better now. Has it been that long?
Yeah.
You got enough to feed us here?
Why, sure we got enough. We got the whole woods. Rabbit, squirrel, greens, berries, you name it.
This is pretty good. What is this?
I'll give you 3 guesses what it was before I chopped it up.
Snake.
You're kidding me.
It's not bad. Well, that was good, and I sure feel a lot better, but I feel like I could sure use a shave now.
Oh, we can fix that up. There you are. Hope that's sharp enough. Got a mirror in here somewheres. There she be. There's a little something I whittled for you.
Thanks.
Hey fella, you're starting to hop around this camp pretty good. Don't you think it's time you got something to wear besides that old dirty capote? My cabin's about 3 days from here, and I reckon my partner was about your size. He left some there.
I don't think I can walk that far.
I know that. With a broke leg, I'll go get the clothes and bring them back.
And leave me here alone?
Oh, you'll be all right. I'll leave you the gun and a little bit of jerky.
When do you plan on going?
No better time to start than this morning. Get out the way, old anchor. Hey, Pilgrim, how you doing?
Pretty good.
Ah, so you shot a rabbit.
Yeah, I sure did. Didn't shoot it. I trapped it.
You trapped it?
Well, I kind of remembered back from my old Boy Scout days some of the traps and snares they taught us. And besides that fangled thing you call a gun, you didn't show me how to use it before you left, and I was afraid I might blow my head off.
Well, by the golly, maybe we better just call you Trapper. clothes fit you pretty good right down to the hat size.
Yeah, but what's in all these little pouches?
Oh, we'll teach you all about that tonight later on. But right now we got to teach you how to shoot this here gun. Gun. What that means is there's a piece of flint in the hammer here, or the cock, what they call it. This here's the frizzen, and you got your trigger down here. You cock it, and then you put a little bit of priming powder in here, close the frizzen. And then when you pull the trigger, the cock hits the frizzen here and makes a spark. And then that, you know, there's a cam down here. That cam's open as the hammer goes on down, and the sparks go into the pan, through the touch hole, and set off the main charge. Always shoot a measured charge. And the way you rule of thumb there is 1 grain per caliber. Now this here is a 50 caliber gun, so I've made up a 50 caliber measure here. You never load directly out of this. There might be a hot spark down in there, and you have a couple pounds of powder going. So you make you up a little measure, fill that up. Always put the stopper back in your horn before you go any further. Pour that down the barrel, and then kind of smack it, kind of settle it down in there. Okay, the next thing you do, take your rag and you get it real good and wet. Now when you're hunting, if you're going to shoot it off right away, you can just spit on it. But if you're hunting and your gun might be loaded for, say, a half a day or so, it's a good idea to use grease on it, because the powder might absorb the moisture and not go off. What you do here, you set that on there, set your ball on there, and then you take what you call your starter here. It's got just a little tit here, and you take that little tit right on top of the ball and sock it down in there. Once you get it socked down in there, take your patch knife, get it out all up. Now it's a good idea to cut away from you. You might slip and have a little accident there. Cut that patch off, right flush with the muzzle. Put that away, put that away. Now you sock it on down in there a little ways with this part of the starter. That starts it. Then you take your ramrod. Now put your ramrod in there. Don't take it from the top or from up here, because it might break and the splinters will go in your hand. You take it from down here and you push it. Now if you've shot a while, it might get a little hard. You may have to stomp it, but you do what you have to, but be sure you're down here. Now you see that line right there? She'll stop right on that line, and that means that first time you load it, when it's a good clean rifle, make you a line, and that tells you where it's supposed to be. If that line goes out of sight, you know the rifle, you forgot to put powder in it. If it don't go down to that line, you got an air gap in there, and your gun could blow up on you. You got an air gap. So that little line tells you that that ball is right just about where it should be. Okay. Then all we got to do is put the primer in and drop the frizzen and let her go. Let's go over here and take a shot. Like I told you before, we put the primer in here. Just fill up that little pan there, not too much. Close the frizzen, cock it all the way back. Now, when you're don't never stand on that side of a flintlock, on the right hand side, because a little blast of air, hot air, comes shooting out through there. So if you'll just step back about a step, that's good. Then all you got to do is just raise her up. You see the mark over there on the tree? You just, well, sometimes she do and sometimes she don't. So you try again. Now once you've tried that 3 times, then it's time to reset the flint. That's once. That's twice. Let's just play with the flint here a little bit. Okay, one more time and then we're going to have to do something. Okay, she ain't going to go. Now that's one of the fallacies of a flintlock. Okay, now we got the different flint in there. Sometimes flints they get dull. You got to have a good sharp flint. We got a new one in there. Let's see what she does this time. Oh man. All you got to do is cock the hammer all the way back, aim, and then let her fly. Let's see if you can come closer to that mark than I did. I must have come 6 feet from that mark. shotting. That's a good shot.
Well, that's a real nice gun, but you know, I think I'd rather have a bow and arrow.
You'd rather. Well, maybe we can make you a bow and arrow. We sure ain't gonna make a gun out here in the woods. Bow, don't you think?
Yeah, do you know how to whittle them?
Oh yeah, I whittle a lot of bows. I'll show you how to nap, and while I'm whittling on this, you can be making some arrowheads.
Me make arrows?
This here's what you call a core. It's a glass-like material. Any glass-like material will work. It don't have to be flint necessarily. What we call this is a core. What we want to do is just knock a little nodule off of this. This is the one I picked up the other day. Remember you was asking me what we was going to do with it? And then I'm going to show you. We're going to make arrowheads out of it. Take a good heavy, you can do this with your tomahawk too. Just, what you want to do is hit it a glance and blow and knock a chip. Just knock a little chip out of there. Okay. There's one, there's one. See how that just chip flakes right off? Now that'll make an arrowhead. Piece of leather here. Put that little flake in it, down in it. We're gonna take the point of this here deer antler, and you just push down real hard until she flakes off. Real hard till she flakes off. Real hard till she flakes off. You just keep doing that all the way around. First you want to shape it, and then you want to get the sides in. You dump that glass out. Okay. Just keep chipping them little chunks out of there all the way around. Keep on going. Keep working it around. And that's decent. That's decent. This should be a war arrow, though. I didn't put the back on it because they made the war arrow so it'd slip off of the shaft and stay in you if you tried to pull the arrow out. The one with the classic humps in the back here, them was hunting arrows. They could get them out of there themselves. You gotta really push down with the point of that antler. Yeah. Okay, now you get the idea. How you doing?
Well, it seems to be coming along all right. What do you do when you run out of ink?
Make some more.
Out here in the woods?
Yeah, I'll show you how to make it. I need a couple little things out of my bag here. I need that. A little oil. Okay, all you need is something to collect some soot and mix it in. Now you can mix it right in the bottle. What I do is carry a little old candle holder and mix it in. You just put your soot in there and then add oil to it. Now for collecting soot, all you need is a good smooth surface. You can use a plate or whatever. I always use the side of my knife here. And you get you a good pine knot. Pine knot's really good. It really builds up the soot. Another thing is a candle. Just hold it in a candle flame and it'll build up a lot of soot. Once you get that done, get a lot of soot on there, you just scrape it off into your container there. And then you get some more soot. Just keep doing that until you get a real good buildup of soot in there. Get it all maybe 1/8 of an inch thick or so, 1/2 inch, 1/4 inch, however much ink you want to make. Then take your little bottle of oil, and you can use barrel oil or rabbit oil, or when you're cooking, be sure and save all your oil because it has a lot of uses. This is one of them. And you just dump a little oil down in there, about however much you think it'll take to get the consistency you want. Then take a little old stick and you stir it up. Okay, that's a little too thick. Let's add a little more oil here. We'll add some more oil to it. Oh, that'll do it. And get it just the consistency you want. Once you get it all mixed up, you put it in a good container with a tight cork and pour it in there. And then cork her back up, and that's all there is.
Well, that looks easy enough, but what do you do for a pen?
Well, for a pen, you know them turkey feathers we've been saving up for to make the arrows out of?
Uh-huh.
Okay, you take one of them, take your patch knife, good sharp knife, and you just cut her down. You know what a pen looks like?
Yeah.
Just cut it down. Kind of cut it off to a point. This is where the old pen knife got its name. Cut it right down to a point, and then all you got to do is put a little slit in it. Slit it right up the middle. This stuff will split pretty good. Okay, and then just kind of trim it off a little more. Get it real good and pointed. And there you have it. Now you can drill a little hole up here to hold the ink if you want. Take that cork out of there. Dip that in there. And there you are.
Well, Josh, why do you even keep a journal?
Well, years from now you can, reflect back and read what you did. You can either keep a day-to-day journal or a week-to-week or a month-to-month. And you'll notice I can fill mine out every day. But, in your old days, well, you can sit back and read your old journal and reflect back on what you did, plus the historical value of it. A lot of the only information we have on the mountain men is through their journals that they kept during the fur trade era. And if they hadn't kept them journals, we wouldn't know a lot of what we know about what went on.
What are you looking for, Josh?
Well, we're looking for tubers, like a potato, grows in the ground, and berries. There's some berries right there.
You mean you actually eat this stuff?
Why, you've been eating it for a month. Okay, these are wild grapes here. They usually grow a little higher up in the tree there. You get them, Oh, you can get raspberries, blueberries, wild strawberries, just about anything you want. Taste one of them. Them's real tasty. Right over there's some columbine. You see that little yellow flower there?
Uh-huh. Well, what do you eat off them?
Just the petals there. We'll grab the whole flower and just cook them up. You can eat them however you want. Here's some plantain right here. That's a good little plant.
What's that good for?
You can eat the leaf like spinach. Just boil it up, as a green. Or you can put that in your bag. You can take the root and dry it out, and then boil it for a coffee substitute. That's what you've been drinking.
Oh, it's not bad then.
Yeah, dandelion dandelion's about the same way. You can boil them roots too, or dry them out and then boil them for a coffee substitute. Rose hip.
What do you do with that?
Oh, that makes a real good tea. Let's pick a few of them and put them in the bag there. We'll make some tea tonight. Oh, looky down here. Here's a good one. This is called yarrow, and it has a kind of a numbing effect. If you get a toothache, you just chew on some of that, and it'll relieve the toothache.
Hey, Josh?
Yeah.
If all this gear is pre-1840, whereabouts do you get it?
Well, the people that are really into this, the real hardcore people, make everything themselves. In fact, they try to make it all out in the wood. Then you got people at rendezvous, that dealers, they call them dealers or traders, and they'll have all the gear that's made, but it qualifies as pre-1840. Also, and then there's catalogs and so on and so forth, but they don't sell it in the drugstores. I've made most of everything I got.
The idea, I guess, is to become as self-reliant as you can to be able to make all your gear out here.
Right, that's the whole gist of the thing, is to learn how to get along on your own the way the original mountain men did up in the hills there. They were 2,000 miles from civilization.
I guess if you can make it out here, then you can repair it out here if it breaks.
Right.
Sting you got?
Oh, it don't feel so bad. I packed a little mud on it.
Well, why did we have to fight off all those bees to get that hunk of wax?
Well, we're going to make some candles. And always carry with me this little candle mold. And what we got here is just a cork with a hole in the bottom of it. That goes in there. But first, we put the wick through there. And then that goes together like that. And then we put a little piece of wire or a stick or something up here to hold that in. Okay, we're going to take some of that wax we fought them bees for and put it in my ladle here that I always carry with me. Now, what my ladle's for, you want to hold that. What my ladle's really for is melting lead for casting more round ball when I need it. Okay, while you're doing that, I'm gonna. Okay, while that's melting, I'm gonna take this here wick and put it in the cork, just a cork with a little hole in the bottom of it. Feed that down through there. Now the wax usually always comes out around the cork, so I went down to the creek there and got some mud. Just pack a little mud around that and it'll seal it off. Plus that'll hold that up. Now we take you just take a little old piece of wire or something and kind of hold that over in the center. Okay, is that all melted up?
Just about.
Okay, we bring that back over here and pour the wax. Okay, once that wax is cooled off and this thing here won't burn your finger, you just pull your cork out of there and it slips right off of your wick. And then you take the little end, you'll notice that's bevel, it's bigger at one end than the other. Take the little end there and just push her out. And there's your candle. There's your little candle. What do you think of that?
What's that stuff over there, Josh?
Oh, that's sinew, what they call sinew. Comes out of the leg of a deer or antelope, any big animal. What you do, you wet it, you get it wet where it's pliable, and then strip it out. I got some here that I've stripped out already. That's what I got soaking in the water here, so it'll be soft when we're ready. That's your sewing thread. We'll be using that to tie the feathers on the arrows, tie the arrowheads in, and you can use it to sew up your moccasins or your breeches or whatever. That's your Indian sewing thread, I guess you could call it.
Where do you get it from?
Like I said, it comes from big animals and deer, buffalo. Indians use buffalo mostly. That looks straight enough to you? Getting down there.
Yeah, it's beginning to look pretty good.
Okay. Get it real tight.
Well, this stuff sure is sticky.
Yeah, when it's wet like that, it's kind of its own natural glue. That'll stretch on there, and when it dries, it'll shrink, and then it'll be real tight. I think you just about got it there. Let's chop it off. Okay.
What is that you're using there to cut that?
Just a saw. You just snap it out of flint. Got little rough edges on it. That's what we cut. That's what the Indians made and used to cut the grooves in their arrows. About how many of them heads you got napped up there now?
Oh, I've got about 15, I would say.
About 15. Boy, I'm gonna have to get going on some more dowel. You might have to help me. I'm glad we gathered up these turkey feathers out in the woods too. Feathers. Yeah, that ought to do it. Just chop that off. You notice that stuff just sticks itself together right there at the end when you get done. Once we get this sinew all twisted up, we'll wrap a little in the middle here, and then we'll loop over the ends. Just loop the ends around and tie them, and it'll have you a pretty good bowstring there. Yeah, it's just about finished up. We got that rawhide on there real good. It's glued down. That glue I made out of that pine pitch, put a little of that blood in it. That was the original epoxy, so I don't think that's gonna come off of there. I think we're about ready to string her up.
Boy, that looks nice.
And go for it. You can put your little mark on your arrow there so you know which ones are yours in case you ever get them mixed up with somebody else's.
Well, I think I'm ready to go now.
Yeah, maybe you're so good at trapping, maybe you can get you an otter skin and make you a quiver and everything. You'll be all set. Trapper, you're getting pretty good with that bow of yours. See, you got another rabbit today. Now we've been eating them for 4 months. You been checking them livers?
What about the livers?
When you kill a rabbit, especially if you're in a plague area, always check the liver. And if it's a good clean liver, that means the rabbit's not sick. If it's got little gray or white spots on it, he's usually sick. And check the fur when you first shoot him. And if there's fleas on him, get rid of that fur in a hurry. Don't save it for tanning or nothing. Just sling it. Mean old man who washed his face in a frying pan. Home is. Hey, how you doing there?
Oh, pretty good. How are you? Looks.
What do you think of them?
They look pretty good. Boy, you know, I like to fish. It's one of my favorite hobbies. Could I see the tackle you used to catch those?
Oh, yeah. Hey. There it is.
This is it?
Yep.
Well, not much
Got
here.
your string there, a couple of hooks.
What kind of hook is that?
That's my favorite. That's a little hook made out of a cactus spine.
And these,
You just soak it up and wrap it around a little dowel and then let it dry.
does it actually works?
Yeah, this one here's the one I caught the trout on. Just a little old hook with a piece of red twine on it.
Would they go after the twine?
Oh yeah, anything bright colored like that.
Oh.
I think it's a bug. We'll go down to the fishing hole. Hey, let's get the fire going here and get these fish fried up, and then we'll go down and go fishing. Where's your char?
What?
Char? Here, let me show you how to do that.
Yeah, I don't quite have the hang of it.
What'd you do when I was gone for a fire?
I never let yours go out. I kept it going.
Oh, I'll be darned. I never even noticed. Okay, this here's your char cloth. You gotta have that. And what you do is just burn that in a container of some kind without no little nest affair made out of some dry stuff here. Pine needles and these other little dry weeds. Now we'll take a piece of this here char cloth and put it right down in there. And get that down in there good. Take your striker. You gotta have a good sharp edge here. Just strike a spark. Keep striking sparks till one of them takes the char. As soon as one of them takes the char, you pick her up and start blowing on it. And then, as soon as you get your flame there, just lay her down in the fire there. And get you some small sticks and stuff. Stack over that. Put a little bit of small kindling first. Pile that on there.
Josh?
Yeah?
Something I've been wanting to tell you that I've been thinking. It's been about 5 months since I've been here now, and my leg is healed real good, and I can get around on it all right. And I feel it's probably time for me to head back to civilization.
Well, Trapper, you think you've learned anything up here this summer? When you get back down there to the settlement, you think you'd be better able to cope?
Well, when I left before, you know, I was the vice president of the Chase Manhattan Bank, and the pressures of that job were coming down on me like a ton of bricks. Not only that, but it was a fighting the traffic on the freeway, trying to get to work, trying to get home, working weekends, that it really got to be pretty tough. But during the last 5 months that I've spent with you out here, I think I've come to understand myself a little bit better, my limits. I know I've come a lot more self-reliant in being able to deal with the hardships of life, and I've come to the point now where I feel that I've got to go back and take care of business.
Hi golly, Trapper. You sure helped me out a lot being here. I was kind of having a hard time getting over my partner. You got his clothes on, you kind of replaced him. I think when I get back down to the cabin, I'm going to be over all that and a lot better able to handle things down there.
I'm glad I was able to help you too.
Well, Trapper, when you get back down to the settlement, you get lonesome for this life, why just look up some buckskinners and go on some rendezvous, and you'll learn what that end of it's all about. And who knows, maybe you want to go full time and come on back up. You're welcome in. Right about here is where we part company. If you follow the stream right on down, that'll take you to the highway.
Okay.
Then you can catch a ride into town. It's about 20 miles, so you probably have to spend a couple nights out, but you got the jerky and everything. I think you'll be all right.
Well, you take care of
Been
yourself.
real good having you.
And thanks again.
Yeah.
We'll see you.
Okay, be sure and look up some of them buckskinners like I told you.
I plan to.
I better get some wood in before it gets dark. End of another beautiful summer. I should be back at the cabin in a couple of days. I've been alone for nigh on a year now and a half. Don't know who I miss most, my old partner or that pilgrim I rescued last summer. I wonder if he ever got to any rendezvous. him too. He's laying there bleeding.
2002, and it's a hit. Oh. Nope.
Hi, my name's Trapper.
Nice
Richard. Richard, nice meeting you. Longo. Nice meeting you folks.
Hi, we took you for a pilgrim. It looks like you've been around for a while. How long you been skinning?
About 2 years now. A guy by the name of Josh got me started.
One that sang that same old song over and over? I thought he was dead.
Last time I seen Josh was at the Nationals about 4 years ago.
Yeah, now there's a guy I'd like to spend some time in the woods with.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Get out your way, oh Dan Tucker. Get out your way, oh Dan Tucker.
God!
Josh, how you doing?
Oh, yeah! Oh, golly!
It's been a long time.
Yeah!
I didn't know you were still up here in these mountains.
I didn't know you was here. I got to fight all day. How'd you ever find me up here anyway?
I went up to your cabin looking for you, but since you weren't there, I've been poking around the woods looking for you.
When you gonna be here?
Forever, I guess. You need any help with your trapping this winter?
Oh, by golly, that's great. You can stay forever. Just down the way here a little bit. What do you say we go get a bite to eat? What made you decide to come back anyway?
Well, I went to several rendezvous, and it got so hard to go back to civilization, I thought I would come back and stay forever.
Spend the night here and then head on down to the cabin in the morning if you want to. What'd you ever do with that bow I made?
Well, I left it up at your cabin when I went looking for you a while back.
Oh, yeah? At least you got yourself a rifle gun. Where'd you get that? That looks like a nice one.
Well, I went to an actual rendezvous and met up with a blacksmith who I got that from.
I'll be darned. That looks like a nice piece. I'll bet that takes you back to my home. Get out the way, old Dan Tucker. Get out the way, old Dan Tucker. Get out the way.